Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie de Choix, and welcome to Wallpaper Wednesday. This will be the last Wallpaper Wednesday in this series that I began a few months ago. The next Wednesday project will be slightly different, but I'm going to keep it as a surprise. But this last project, it's simple, but the focus is on the closures. So this is a little piece of wallpaper. It's also a good scrap buster for coffee dyed paper or tea stained paper that you've got scraps of. This is just a little, they're like mini booklets with just little scrap paper inside. If I can get it to open. This was a little long, so I just doubled this over like this, and it's got a ribbon closure. I just punched some holes with the hole punch and weaved it through, tied it off, and just made a little booklet. Then this one, now this is not wallpaper, it's wrapping paper. Doubled it over, did the same thing with just some little pieces of scrap I had left over from the last project I did, I believe. And just put a couple of little brads in it as closure. So all these can just tuck in a pocket. Now this, I didn't want to cut this down because I like this map. Now this is wallpaper, and I've got, this has Africa and Russia and all that, and then I've got in the next section, they're like in squares, is the US, South America, and Canada and all of the surrounding of that. But this is the one that I had cut actually for a project that I did kind of at the beginning, but then I didn't use it. So it's just a plain piece. It's got some big pieces in it, just some scrapbook paper that I didn't want to cut down, and it fit this piece really well, so that's what I used. Now this has hidden staples. The staples are under these little tabs, and then they're glued down on the back so that you can't see the back of the staples. You can see the imprint slightly here and here, but this is a good way to, if you have I just cut these out of just a little snippet that I had to make them, but you could make them decorative if you wanted to. But that's what we're going to do, is one each of these. So let me get my materials together, and we'll do a hidden staple, a tie closure. It can be a ribbon or string or whatever you want to use, but I use ribbon in this case, and then some brads. So I'll be right back. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is the little tie closure, and since there's no real measuring, I've already cut the three, or tore actually, the three examples I'm going to use, and got my little papers together. Now these are good because of the way that you put the closure in. If you have little single-sided pieces of paper, you don't want to double them because it would make them too small or too thick, whatever. Then it's a good way to use them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a couple of clips on it just to hold it so that nothing goes anywhere. And then I'm going to use this little bitty hole punch that I have, and I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to put 4 holes in. I'm going to put well, when I say 4 holes, I'm going to punch this about 3 times to make a decent size hole, because my regular hole punch would be way too big. So I'm going to put holes in 4 places, but each one of them will probably have about 3 to make it big enough. So I'm going to come in about 1/2 inch from the bottom and just do 3 kind of right in a row, just enough to give me a little something for it to come through. And then I'm going to come to the top and come in and do it roughly the same distance as, like I said, it's just eyeballing it. And okay, and then I'll just split the difference here. I want to put 2 because now what did I do with that one? Oh. The reason I want to put 4, and you can't really see it now, is I started weaving it from this so that I want the middle on the front to have this part covered, and the only way when you're weaving it to do that is to make 4 holes, and then I weaved it back in over itself to make the little tie. That part's not necessary, but I thought it would be cute to do a little tie in the middle, and so we'll do that though. Okay, so I'm going to come in about 1 inch and do 3 little holes, and then I'll come in about here, I guess. And go this way. Okay. My handle's trying to, or my gripper thing's trying to fall off. Okay, so I had this fancy ribbon that has all of these colors in it, and I thought, well, that'd be really cute. So I'm going to cut me a length of it. That should be long enough. Put that over to the side. And then let me just trim that little part. I'm going to pull these tweezers out just in case I need them. Now, yeah, there we go, just like that. Now, to make sure that I get it the way that I want it, I'm going to drop it. Evidently. These tweezers are not the best in the world. I think I've used them on stuff I shouldn't have way too many times. Alright, let's see if it'll, well, if it'll hold it enough to get it through. That's what matters, right? And well, let me do it this way and see if that helps any. Okay, that worked. Okay, so I've got it through there, and I probably cut this way too. Okay, I want that gold across there. So now what I want to do is come back up through that side. And up through, well, let me trim that part. Well, I dropped it again. Or rather, the tweezers are not really holding it. You've got to put it through the hole first, otherwise it kind of defeats the purpose. This one is being the unruly child. I can say that because I had one. She's now 32 years old and is still somewhat unruly. And my hope is that she probably She probably would never see this video, so it's okay. However, her sister might see it. Oh well. It's the truth. No point in being wishy-washy about it. Okay, now, the way I did this, how did I do that? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to take these off because it's on there now. I went back up through, okay, I remember now. I held that tight there. I'm going to put my little thing back through and hopefully it will work. I got it balanced, I hope. Now the other one was regular ribbon and I cut it to a point and it just went right through the little hole, but this is not going to be cooperative like that. So this one is a little more fiddly just because of the type of ribbon that it is. Now, did I do that the wrong way? I think I did. I did. Well, okay. Yeah, it needs to go in this way. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. This way. See if I can do it left-handed. Nope, cannot do it left-handed. Now you don't have to do it this way, obviously. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more decorative. Okay, now we're kind of in the right direction. So, alright, so we'll let that hang there for a minute and we'll come up here and do the same thing to the top one. So, let me think, it needs to come back in this way, so I need to go that way. You have to think these things through. Oh. Sometimes the brain just don't want to work. My husband and I have been a little bit under the weather the last week or so. He actually didn't work all last week. And so today I slept, on top of sleeping last night, I slept for about 4.5 hours because I just felt so bad. But I've always been a night owl and I always have you know, been more lively in the evenings and that late at night. For me to go to bed before midnight is a rarity. And my husband, if we had chickens, he would go to bed with them. Thank goodness we don't have chickens. Okay. Alrighty. So, now what I'm doing here is just tying it literally in just a little knot. Snug, but not tight. And of course this ribbon don't really tighten that much anyway, so I'm just going to cut a little snippet off. And there it is. Well, it might not have tied as tight as I would have liked it, but at any rate, I'll go in and adjust that. I'm not sure what happened. I've got one side's tight and the other side's loose. But there it is. Just a little bitty booklet with a ribbon tie closure. So that's number 1. Number 2. Now this wallpaper, now this is folded. This wallpaper I have on a roll and I just tore off a piece and then tore out some of it from there, but I love this wallpaper. This is actual paper wallpaper. and the one that I just used is paper wallpaper. This one, and then the one that I'm going to do next is vinyl that's been adhered to paper, and so it tears funny because it tries to tear the vinyl that don't want to tear. So I'm really favoring the actual paper wallpaper as opposed to vinyl covered wallpaper. Okay, let me get the little clips back out and get my hand to cooperate. Okay. Okay. Get that air bubble out of it. Okay, so what we're going to do with this one is do the brads, and we're going to use a ruler, and I'm going to call that 7 inches, so I still got an air bubble in there somehow. Okay, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, let's do it about there, a 1/2 inch from the bottom, change it slightly, in the top, and then I'm going to put one in the middle, more or less at the middle. And then I'm going to hope that this hole punch will punch through all of these layers of paper. I'm having a hard time seeing. Okay, there we go. Haha, yes, it worked. Okay, and one more. Now this one is super easy. And again, you can make these any size you want. They don't have to be made from wallpaper. They absolutely do not have to be made from wallpaper. But if you make them from wallpaper, then wallpaper makes really good projects, but there is a limit, which is one of the reasons why I've kind of come to the end of all the things that I can think of and things that I can find online and all that to give me ideas. I've kind of come to the end of that, so I'm saying, okay, it's time to move on to something else. So that's what that's about. And you've got on these little things, they have a short side and a long side, and if you're at the edge, then the short side, you probably should put it near the top, just in case it's long enough to go over, but I didn't do that. And then I have just my little pliers here that I just I like to do it long ways like this. Just give it a little bit of a press, and that just tightens it up really well. But you don't want to press it so hard that you bend, which I just did actually. Okay, don't do it that hard, okay? But give it a good enough press that it just tightens it up. And then you have this little booklet. And this one's full of some, I guess, tea stain paper is what this is. And it's just a simple little booklet. Okay, so that is then booklet number 2. So booklet number 3 is this little bitty one with this little bitty sheaf of paper, And this is another one of these vinyl coated, and I love the pattern. It's all these fruits like they're growing on trees with this black background, and the gold is shiny. But it's a pain to rip. It's because it's vinyl coated. Now on this one, because it was so big, I cut 3 of these little pieces to put the staples in. But on this one, I cut 1 piece, but I'm going to put 2 staples in it. I'm actually going to use the rough side. I don't know. No, I'm going to use the smooth side. And what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is you want to just make a mark roughly through here. And put your paper in so you don't forget the whole thing that you're doing. My goodness. Alright. Put your clips on. Now, when I did the others, I didn't use clips. Why I didn't use clips, I have no idea. But they do make it easier. So I would advise using clips. Okay, now you want to put the edge of your little tab, that's what I'm calling it. Hold on, my camera just did something weird. Let me see what's going on with it. Oh well, I don't know what that was. Anyhow, let me do this. That way I'm not fighting against gravity or whatever it is. Put your little tab with the edge right against your little spine, and then take your stapler and staple. Now mine, I put it on the line, but it staples slightly behind it. So there. And I can take this off now. Now what you want to do is just gently fold it over like that, so that the staples are hidden, and gently fold it over that way. And I don't glue the part that's actually going to be against the spine or just a tiny bit inside, but I will glue from a little bit out along the whole thing like this, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of extra around those staples and just press it down like that. Now, because I'm using this vinyl coated wallpaper, it might take it a minute to stick, so I am going to bring back in these little clips to just hold it for a second. But basically that's it made, and there's your little booklet. So I'm going to pause the camera and clean up my area, and we'll look at what we've got. So I know this hasn't been a really intense project, but I think it's got some potential to be a really good project, because you can make it as in-depth or as simple as you want it to be. What I like about these, I didn't realize it till after I had already done this one. Since I've sewed since I was 16, so a little more than 40 years, although I haven't sewn that much lately, I realized that this little trick is something that that you can do in the sewing world to hide certain things. So I think that's where, deep in the bowels of my mind, that's where I got that from. But I think it's cute. It works. The ribbon, I tried to get that little knot out to redo it, and yeah, that's just way too fiddly, so I might end up just redoing it, or I might just leave it the way it is. It's not a big deal. These I love. Anything with the little brads in it's always cute. And although this is wallpaper, when I did Wallpaper Wednesday, I added in wrapping paper, tissue, and I forget what other different types of papers that I added to that menu. So when I just pulled out pieces that I had left over from other projects, and I thought, okay, I want to do something with this little piece. And then, of course, this one, it all turned out well. Now, one thing I want to share with you, since this is going to be the last Wallpaper Wednesday, I want to share with you I'm not sure, I have not counted how many Wallpaper Wednesdays there were, but I think I started it in September or October. Anyway, there's probably been 8, anywhere between 7 and 9, I think. This one, I think this was like my probably second one, not sure even now. But this was my favorite one, and it was so much my favorite that I did more after I did the project with you on camera. So on camera I did this one and this one. I did another one out of this paper and maybe another one out of this paper. I'm not sure about this one, but I know that I did another one out of this one, and I did another one out. I did just say that already. Anyway, I know that I did 2 out of these, and I may have started this before. I think I did, because I put 2 of these in the last drawing, which was at the beginning, or the end rather, of September. So I guess I've been doing this since sometime in September. But anyway, these are 2 that I made on camera, or at least I know for sure I did this one. But then I made this one. This is another vinyl coated, and I almost, after, because it's textured, and I used this piece of leather to tie it with, but it was aggravating because it didn't want to glue in the places I needed to glue, and I put it in my donation box, because well, my husband and I, we just keep a donation box going all the time. And I thought, no, I really love that. It stayed in there for 2 or 3 days, and I got it back out because I really liked it too much. So I will link the video for this project. Like I said, out of all of the Wallpaper Wednesdays, this was my favorite. Since I should have done a Monograph Monday on Christmas night, but I didn't, obviously, because it was the holiday. So at some point in time when I do another video, or probably when I pick up the new Monday menu, I'm calling it a menu, I will show you my favorite projects from doing those. And then this is another one that's paper, so it worked out good. This is some wallpaper. My youngest daughter got married in 2017, and I made her a journal, like a little wedding journal. I gave it to her as a wedding gift, using this paper. So that's how long I've had it, and I hadn't made anything with it since. So I did this little packet with that paper. So now these I'm keeping. These are not going into the drawing that's coming up, but these will. All of these will go into the drawing that's coming up here in just a few days. If you're watching and you haven't been to the community post to comment on the post for the end of the year drawing, then do so, because if you've not commented, your name won't be put in the hat. That's the only way I can keep up with the comments, is have them all in one place. So I'll have this, and then I'll link the other video of what else will be in the drawing. I have one more project, I believe is right. I know Friday's project that will go in the drawing, and I think that's it. Friday's the 29th, which is my grandson's birthday. He'll be 15. He's growing up. Alright, well, thank everyone. I thank everyone for watching. Thank you for all of your support. All of the views, the comments, the likes, the questions. I've had some requests that I've got written down on my to-do list for upcoming videos. It'll probably be February before I can actually get to the things that I want to get to, just because I've already jam-packed January. But at any rate, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon.